So after completion of the third unit, today I'm going to start unit 4. The unit 4 title starts with just in time, and we call it as JIT. So just in time is one of the most important concept as far as the purchasing department is concerned. And before we start just in time in the purchasing perspective, what I'd like to discuss is in this class, for the today's class, so we are going to discuss what is just in time concept is all about, and how just in time is important from the overall organization perspective, and how just in time is going to be implemented by the organization. And also we are also going to discuss how the just in time is going to help the organization, and also we discuss the advantages as well as the disadvantages. And initially we discuss what is just in time manufacturing, and later we'll go to what is just in time purchasing, because if you want to see the just in time only from purchasing perspective, but before that what you need to do is you need to understand what exactly this just in time is all about, isn't it? So before we start this particular fourth unit, I want to share some learning objectives from the unit. As usual, we'll do every unit, isn't it? So at the end of this unit, you are able to understand what is the lean production system. And coming to the second learning objective, identify the differences between JIT and MRP. And not only that, you are in a position to understand the relationship between JIT and purchasing, and to identify the critical JIT purchasing advantages we are going to discuss, to identify the activities needed to implement JIT purchasing, to determine the role of culture in the implementation of JIT purchasing, to critically analyze the impact of JIT purchasing on a buying firm. So these are all the learning objectives you are going to learn by the end of the this unit. So you are going to understand what is the lean production and what is JIT, and how this JIT is different from the MRP system, and how what is the relationship between JIT and purchasing. Like that we are going to discuss in the coming slides. So this is what the learning objectives of the class. Yes. So coming to the introduction of the JIT, so we talk about the companies, especially the companies which are running successfully at the developing countries, isn't it? So like that, we need to talk about the Japan success, isn't it? So most of the Japan companies are success because of their practice, because of their process, because of their work culture. So what not? So most of the Japan success at the global market, they are people oriented, isn't it? They are not the political and legal environment oriented. They are not the employer oriented. The success of almost all the Japan companies, they follow only one style. And what is that management style they follow? People oriented management style, means the working style by the successful Japan companies. They always follow the people oriented approach, and not only people oriented approach, what they also give importance or priority to the innovative manufacturing techniques. They always work very hard in practicing the innovative things, isn't it? So, and JIT is one of the innovative manufacturing technique which is successfully implemented in the Japan companies. Successfully implemented in the Japan companies, and later from Japan, the concept, the just-in-time concept, moved to the different parts of the world. So, friends, what you need to understand, most of the Japan companies are people-oriented companies, and not only that, they give highest priority to the innovative techniques and innovative methods or innovative process. And if we talk about the topic for the fourth unit, JIT, and also the total quality management, these two terms comes under this innovative manufacturing techniques. So friends, what you need to understand is, for a successful organization, organization need to be a people oriented one, and not only the people oriented one, it should always follow an innovative practice which will benefit the organization in many ways. That anyway we are going to study in the coming slides, right? So coming to the topic, what is just in time manufacturing? So friends, I said in the starting of the class, first we study what is just in time manufacturing. And once we study the basic concepts of what is just in time and what is just in time manufacturing, we are going to discuss what is just in time purchasing, because purchasing is a part of the organization. But overall, in the beginning of the class, what I would like to give a clear picture on that, what exactly this JIT is all about, just in time. Even friends, the name itself says in time, isn't it? And first I would like to start with the just in time manufacturing. And just in time manufacturing is also known as just in time production. Sometimes it is also known as just in time production, or it is also known as Toyota production system. So friends, what you need to remember is, just in time manufacturing is also known as just in time production, or else it is also known as the Toyota production system, TPS. And whether it is a Toyota production system, whether it is JIT manufacturing system or JIT production, whatever the name we are calling for the just in time, it's a methodology, it's a process, it's a methodology and it's a process, and it's primarily aiming. So friends, please concentrate. The primary aim of the just in time production or just in time manufacturing or total production system is reducing the time. So friends, as far as manufacturing is concerned, as far as overall organization is concerned, time plays a key role, because always time is an important factor, and also the time will decide your organization future. And not only that, this time will gain an advantage over your competitor, isn't it? What you need to understand, so time plays a key role, and that is addressed by the just in time concept. So what a just in time concept is all about? Just in time concept primarily focusing on reducing the time. It is reducing the time, as well as it is also responding to the supplier and to the customer on time. For example, as an individual customer, I'm expecting a quality good, isn't it? I'm expecting a quality good. That is a customer right. Yes, acceptable. But expecting the quality product on time is also equally important. Not only giving the quality products by the company is not enough. So friends, what you need to understand, just in time or just in manufacturing or production concept will focus primarily on reducing the time, and not only reducing the time of the production as well as the purchasing, it also the response time towards the supplier or the customer is also equally important, isn't it? So, and coming to the origin and the development, it mainly developed in Japan. Just now before slide we have been discussing, most of the successful companies in Japan are always people oriented, and as well as the innovative methods and practices they use in their production process. So this concept originated from Japan, and in between 60 to 17, particularly this concept was practiced by Toyota, isn't it? So as you know that in India, even Toyota vehicles are also more popular vehicles in India, because you know Toyota Innova and these vehicles are the most popular vehicles, isn't it? So it is first in 1960s and 70s, particularly the Toyota company has practiced this concept. That is the reason we are also naming it as Toyota production system. So friends, what you need to understand is just-in-time production or just-in-time manufacturing concept primarily focus on reducing the time, and not only that, it will also the response time from supplier and the customer also. And it started its journey in Japan, but in 1960s and 70s, the concept was particularly more popular in the Toyota organization. Right. So now what actually, how this the just in time works, isn't it? So just in time works on demand pull base, isn't it? Earlier in 1960s and 70s, earlier before that, the most of the companies, they are not demand oriented practices. They are production oriented. So friends, please keep it in mind. So before this just-in-time concept arrived, there was a production-oriented concept. But when the just-in-time concept came, they are demand-oriented. What is the demand is there in the market? Based on the demand only, you need to go for the production or you need to purchase, isn't it? So what you need to understand clearly, the concept of just-in-time is not only the based on the production concept. It is purely working on demand based system, means demand is pulling, isn't it? Earlier it was the production concept where people used to produce in bulk, but that concept is an outdated when the just in time concept came. So friends, what you need to understand is the just in time concept works on demand. So where you get the demand? We get the demand from the market, we get the demand from the society, we get the demand from the customers. If there is a demand in the market, based on the demand, we start producing the goods. So that point you need to understand. And the just in time concept actually orders dictate what should be manufactured, and also that the exact quantity to be produced at the exact time. So friends, 3 points are important here. So what these just-in-time manufacturing concept focus on, what need to be manufactured, isn't it? Exact quantity to be manufactured and on exact time. So use friends, till now we are only focusing on quality. If the goods are qualitily manufactured, it's enough. No, with the quality, we should also focus on how much quantity we need to produce. Earlier, when the production system was there, most of the companies, they manufactured in bulk, isn't it? They manufactured in bulk, and if there is no demand in the market, all the manufactured goods they kept idle in the warehouse or in the godowns. So to minimize that risk, what the most of the companies identified that no, we should not follow the production concept, we should follow the demand oriented concept. And just in time is a demand oriented concept. And what these demand oriented concept will focus on, this focus on exactly how much quantity we need to manufacture, and not only the exact quantity, it should also produced in exact time, isn't it? What should be produced, how much quantity need to be produced, and third important one is on exact time it need to be produced, and on time it should reach the market as well as the customer. So friends, slowly I'm taking you to the just in time concept. So just in time concept is a demand oriented concept. It focus mainly on what to be produced, how much quantity need to be produced, and in exact time. And before we'll go to the next continuation, I like to have a poll question for today. First poll question: So please read the poll and answer. Okay, I'm closing the poll. Make it fast. Because your attendance is depending on the poll. So if you are not attempting the poll, then your attendance is not marked, please. So I'm closing the poll. Right. Isn't it? And most of you have given the answer, the mutuality of obligation, but the answer is all the above. What is generally the essential contract? Because friends, you have been already listening to your legal aspects of business, and as already we have studied this topic earlier, what essentials of the contract, isn't it? Offer is important, obligation is also important, acceptance is also important, consideration. The right answer is all the above. Whatever you have given is only the partial answer, but what is the exact answer is all are important. Offer is unimportant, acceptance is equally important, consideration is important, and capacity and competent and capacity is also important. So like that, each and every element is important in the contract, whether it's a binding contract or any legal contract. So the answer is all the above. Isn't it? So, and what it says that you are not taking the subject seriously, then definitely it is going to cost a lot. Okay, so I am closing the poll and I like to continue. So friends, till now what you understood, just-in-time concept was popular by the Japan companies, and most of the Japan companies will practice it as an innovative process, and just-in-time is one of the innovative process followed by the most of the Japan companies, and Japan companies got the success based on these innovative practices. And just-in-time, total quality management, Kaizen, continuous process, all these are part of the innovative and quality process. And in the process, what they identified, production concept is an outdated one. So we need to focus on the demand oriented concept. So when they practice this demand oriented concept, what they identified that the customer is not only expecting the quality, the customer is also focusing on other elements. So to satisfy a customer more, from our side, from organization point of view, everything should be on time. So how much manufacturing we should do, the quantity, and at what time we need to start the production, at what time the goods should be available to the market or to the customers. All these are part of the just-in-time manufacturing. Right. So coming to the next topic. Okay, sir, good. But what are the advantages? If as a company in India, if I am practicing the just-in-time concept or just-in-time system, how much it is going to get benefit? What are the advantages? Isn't it? So till now you understood everything should be on time. The material should reach the factory on time. The production should start on time, and the right quantity should be produced, and it should reach the market on time. Everything should be on time, isn't it? And if we do everything on time, everything in just in time, what are the advantage we are going to get? isn't it? We discuss one by one. The first point, the biggest advantage is keep stock holding cost, isn't it? So the biggest problem is the holding cost. How much cost we need to be hold, because I buy more stock. If I buy more stock, then there will be a problem. So if you are following just in time concept, it keeps stock holding cost to a bare minimum. The risk percentage is coming down. The biggest advantage of just in time concept is your cost will become minimum. But earlier the production concept where your cost is maximum. What you will do? You will buy bulk raw material with less cost. If there is no demand, what you will do with that particular material? Because you need to put it in the warehouse because there is no demand. So here the biggest advantage is based on the demand itself, you will order the quantity. So first advantage. And second advantage is, second one is also important. It eliminates wastage. Wastage is going to be eliminated. And not only that, the out of date or expiry products are not entered into this category. So simple example, friends, I'll give. You are going to start a furniture shop in Varangal. I want the answers from you. You are going to start a furniture shop in Varangal. Do you maintain all the varieties of stock with large quantity, or you maintain variety of stock with less quantity? What you will do? Isn't my question understandable? You want to start a small furniture shop in Varangal, and whether you buy all the furniture at a time?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, you won't buy, because based on the demand, you will buy. If you buy everything, if that furniture is not sold, isn't it? And when the days will go on, that furniture will become old, and also the model may also become old, isn't it? So same concept, friends. Just like that, if even you see some showrooms in the rural area and in district headquarters, that particular only one color vehicle is available. Maybe you have observed this thing. So if you want the another color vehicle, he asks you some time. What he will do? He will get it from some other place like Hyderabad or maybe some other place, because he don't want to waste the put the all the stock and get into trouble, isn't it? So friends, remember this small example. So what is just in time? If there is a demand, I will buy it. If there is no demand, so my strategies will remain as it is. So friends, it eliminates the wastages. And not only that, it purchases only the essential stock, isn't it? And if you are purchasing only the required or essential stock, with that, what you are doing, you are minimizing your working capital, isn't it? If I spend more money and if I purchase all the material, what you are doing, your working capital cost will go high. So to reduce or to minimize the working capital requirements, what you need to do, your stock should be maintained based on your essentiality. What is the demand is there in the market, I'll buy only that furniture, isn't it? I won't buy the outdated furniture. And if the customer asks for that furniture, what you will do? You will get it from that particular another place, isn't it? So this is also one of the important advantage. And as I said earlier, it works on demand pull basis. If there is a demand for a good, then we will start production. If there is no demand, we will stop. So it is also one of the important advantage of just in time. And not only that, it encourages the everything they want first time, isn't it? They want everything should be in the first attempt, they want write it, isn't it? And it is the most difficult task, because companies like India doing the things for the first time and get it right, it becomes the most difficult task, because we need the coordination from all the sides, because production is only one of the important element. So production needs the coordination from the other departments. So production requires the marketing support, the production requires the finance support, the production report requires the marketing information. So when all the information reaches to the purchasing and manufacturing department on time, then there is a possibility, isn't it? So it is an advantage, but the same advantage, if you doesn't apply in the right way, then it is going to be a disadvantage. So friends, what you need to understand is, if you are adapting a just-in-time concept means, then everything you should do in the first attempt, you should get it right, isn't it? Is it easy for all of you to do the things in first time, the right things? Do you accept?
sir.
It is not possible always, but just in time is concept is like that. If I am attempting, for example, a person who is attempting 400 meters running, so what every runner will feel that I should get the first attempt only, I should get the results. Everybody will do like that, but only few will get success, isn't it? So friends, one of the biggest advantage of just in time is everything should be right first time, isn't it? For example, you are writing example, so few people will give in the interview, from schooling to till today I got the success on first attempt. So getting right in first attempt is not easy. I'm not saying it is impossible, it is possible, but country like India, companies like India, most difficult. Because if one department is not coordinating, then the entire thing will become collapse, isn't it? So it is an advantage, and also if you are not attempting the right thing for the first time, then what happens? It also becomes a disadvantage also, isn't it? And the last one, the overproduction is eliminated. Because why overproduction is eliminated? The simple concept is, we are not focusing on the production concept, we are focusing on just-in-time concept. Focus on which basis it is focusing on? It is focusing on which concept?
First attempt.
First attempt it is focusing on. I am marking it. It's focusing on
Demand pool
demand.
base.
It is not focusing on production, because earlier, if there is without a demand, what they need to do? They need to produce heavy.
Keep in stock.
Overproduction. If there is no demand, what you will do? Simple example, you are in you invited your relatives to for a lunch or for a dinner, isn't it? And you prepare all the dishes based on, because some 15 relatives or 15 friends are coming to visit you for the dinner, and you are invited for a dinner, and you prepare food for 20 people. If they won't come, or maybe some 5 people only turn up, what you will do? The food will become
Spoil.
it's a waste, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that same thing happens in the just-in-time concept. Just-in-time concept reduces the overproduction, because it is purely depending on demand. Because if the demand is there, I'll produce. If the demand is not there, I'll keep on. So these are the important advantage. So stocks will be kept very, very important. It eliminates the wastage, and not only that, it only purchases the essential stocks, and also it will minimize your working capital. Very, very important, because finance plays a key role in purchasing. Because purchasing is important, but you need to focus on your working capital also. Because if you spend all your money on only the purchasing, then it will be difficult for you for running other things. And the most important thing is doing the right first time. First attempt, success. First attempt, success. Every time. Not only once or twice. Whenever you attempt, success. Whenever you are attempting, success. Isn't it? And friends, these are all the advantages of the just in time. Now we'll go with a few disadvantages, isn't it? And the biggest disadvantage is zero tolerance, isn't it? What is the biggest Disadvantage is just-in-time concept does not tolerate. What they does not tolerate? They does not tolerate
Demand.
mistakes. Because they want everything for
First attempt.
everything.
In first attempt,
First
successful.
attempt means there is no chance for mistake, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you understand the concept?
Yes, sir.
So the biggest disadvantage, and companies like in India especially, do you think that the company will do everything? I'm not talking about all the companies, but majority of the companies, because even Indian companies also good companies, excellent companies. I'm not denying the point, but I'm talking generalized concept. I'm talking, isn't it? Don't take in a negative way, sir. All the Indian companies are not like that. Yes, I'll accept, but I'm talking majority. And the biggest disadvantage is if you are committing mistake, means it's not just in time. Simple. What is we are not going to tolerate. You are not going to tolerate at any cost if you are committing mistake either in production or in purchase, isn't it? So the biggest disadvantage, and that disadvantage you may get it from any side, isn't it? Mistake. If, for example, simple example, your driving is very well and you are driving is smoothly, softly, slowly, you are on the road, isn't it? And only your driving, if your driving is good, is it enough to avoid accidents?
No, sir.
No, because the persons who are on the road, all the people should think. Because maybe if you are the other person commit the mistake, and based on his mistake, you may also commit into, isn't it? You may also
Commit accident.
accident, isn't it? Because it's not your mistake, but due to the other person mistake, you are committing mistake. So friends, it's an example of driving, but organization made up of different departments, made up of different functions, isn't it? If one function get affected, then there is going to be a big mistake. And if you are committing mistake means, then just in time does not tolerate, isn't it? And that first point what you need to remember. And also second important point is they depend more on suppliers. They treat suppliers as gods. High reliance means purchasing department, for example, as far as purchasing department and manufacturing department, who are their god? Whether you are a Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, whatever it may be, who are the gods for them? Who is the god? Suppliers. Because if supplier doesn't supply on time, quality, quantity, the 5 rights what we studied in the first class, right quality, right quantity, right time, right cost, right supplier. Isn't it 5 rights we studied in the first class? Isn't it? Remember that as a mantra, because you are the logistics students. Remember that as a mantra. How Sri Krishna taught Gita to Arjuna. That is a Gita for all the logistics and purchasing department students, isn't it? So the biggest disadvantage is they depend more on supply. For example, you have not prepared for your examination, you are depending on your friend. Suddenly, where your friend is not sitting in front of you, the invigilator has changed the chair, changed the seat to some other place. What do you do? Definitely you are going to fail in the examination, because you have not prepared. You are totally depending on whom? You are depending on your friend. Same friends, if you are depending on supplier, so just in time will do that, because always just in time says that if supplier sends or receives the order on time, and suppliers delivers the goods on time, raw material on time, then everything is going to be very well, isn't it? But depending more, relying very high on the suppliers is also going to affect your purchasing, sorry, on your manufacturing. And not only that, coming to the next disadvantage is not able to meet unexpected increasing in orders. isn't it? And the fact that there is no excess finished goods, what it means? Suddenly there is a huge demand. Assume that suddenly there is a huge demand and you have only a little bit of stock left in your organization. Because, sir, why it is happened? Because you ordered only limited raw material. Why limited raw material? Sir, I am following just-in-time concept. What I'll do, I only ordered the small quantity, but suddenly the demand is more. So what happened at the time? I am not able to meet that unexpected increase in the orders, because demand cannot be predicted 100%. You can predict the demand, but can you predict the demand all the time? No, it may not be possible. Suddenly there is a demand. Isn't it? Suddenly there is a demand. Take example COVID-19. Suddenly there is a demand for sanitizers. Suddenly there is a demand for the mask. Suddenly there is a demand for the vegetables. Suddenly there is a demand for the nutritious food. Isn't it? Earlier it was there, but not that demand. So friends, just-in concept is a disadvantage when there is an unexpected increasing in orders, and you are not able to meet that unexpected demand because only you doesn't have no
Exceeds to
excess
finish.
goods, because you are only making to a limited. For example, simple example, husband and 2 children are there in a family. How much quantity they cook? They cook large quantity or less quantity?
Less quantity.
Less quantity. Every day they'll cook. Suddenly some 10 guests comes. What they need to do? Again they need to prepare the food, isn't it?
Food.
They need to prepare the food, but in preparation they take half an hour to 1 hour, isn't it? Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
So if small family is the situation of 1 hour delay, lead time. So there is a lead time. I am used already about lead time. So there is a delay. If there is a big organization, if there is unexpected demand, so how much days it takes? Again, you need to keep an order, and that order should be received, and order should be delivered, start production. Then what happens? Then a big mess up. So friends, this is also the disadvantage. And not only that, the next disadvantage is the transaction cost is high, because always you are ordering less quantity, isn't it? You go to a shop, you buy 500 grams and come back. Next 1 hour, you will go and buy some 500 grams. Next day, you will go and buy 1 kg. Next day, you will go buy 500 grams. If you are buying the same material for 4 to 6 times in a week, what happens? Your transportation cost, your fuel cost, what happening? It is increasing, isn't it? And here the just-in-time concept is the same concept. Buy less quantity. And if you are buying less quantity and more transactions you are making with the supplier, what happens? Then there is a problem of the increasing in transaction. Because every time you are transacting, what happens? The cost will increase. Place order, isn't it? Placing an order, receiving. Placing an order, receiving. But earlier, friends, to avoid this transaction cost, when you are under the production concept, they used to order in. What they used to order in? Before just in time. Before just in time, to reduce the transaction cost, what the principle they followed? Do you understand my question? In just in time, the transaction cost is high. Why the transaction cost is high means, the simple reason is they are buying less quantity and they are buying more, they are transacting more. So automatically transaction cost, what happens? Increases. Earlier there was a production concept where they used to minimize the transaction cost. They used to buy in
huge bulk.
Yes, exactly. Bulk. but buying bulk, if there is no demand, then there will be a problem.
Loss.
Loss.
Yes. So friends, there is an advantages of JIT and as well as disadvantages of the production concept also. Even when a new innovative concept is introduced, it has both ends. It has heads, it has as well as a tails. It has a advantages as well as disadvantages. So friends, what you need to understand is just in concept, production concept, or maybe the purchase concept will have advantages as well as disadvantages. But if you apply in a appropriate way, in a proper way, then you can minimize the disadvantage. I'm not saying you can totally eliminate the disadvantages, but what you can do, you can minimize your disadvantages. This is what the basic introduction of your advantages as well as the disadvantages.
Disadvantage.
Yes. Now your concept came. Now your concept came. So what is your concept is nothing but just in time purchase, isn't it? Just in time purchase is what the syllabus all about, isn't it? Now till now we are focusing on just in time manufacturing, isn't it? And purchasing is part of manufacturing, isn't it? Purchasing function is a part of manufacturing, isn't it? So till now we discussed what is just in time and how just in time manufacturing overall organization is going to get the benefit in the form of advantages, and how it is going to benefit in the form of how it is going to be disadvantage from the organization point of view, that we discussed. Now I want to discuss what exactly the just-in-time purchasing. Now, this is what the topic which is there in the syllabus. We are not talking about just-in-time manufacturing. We are talking about the just-in-time purchase. So, what is just-in-time purchase, isn't it? So, as you know that it is a purchase of material or goods so that they are delivered just as needed for the production or sales, isn't it? So, friends, what you need to understand is just they needed. So they needed, it should be delivered. So friends, these are very well, it should be delivered just as needed for what? Either production or for sales. So whenever you are doing your purchase, whether you are purchasing raw material or maybe any parts or any goods, it should see that it should delivered as needed by the production department and needed by the sales department, isn't it? That is what just in time purchase. And just in time is the most popular because the carrying cost, so friends, the carrying cost are much greater than the estimated, because warehousing, handling, shrinkages and investment costs are not correctly estimated, isn't it? Because it is not estimated clearly. It is the most popular, isn't it? But few things are need to be understand. What is the carrying cost? Every time I order, in week I am ordering 10 times. What is the carrying cost? Isn't it? And sometimes there is a disadvantages also, friend. I have not listed in the overall. For example, you have a big warehouse, but you are ordering little quantity. So what the disadvantage? You are not utilizing the space. Do you understand my point? You have a big warehouse, but if you are following just in time concept, means you are ordering in less quantity. So you are using only a little bit of space in the warehouse, and the remaining all the space will become idle, isn't it? You are not using the space, isn't it? So you are not estimating, and sometimes handling cost will also be becoming difficult, and sometimes investment. So the just-in-time purchase is also one of the important, isn't it? And if you want to understand, it's an approach of inventory management. It is an approach of inventory management in which the products are brought in small quantities. This point you need to be remembered, isn't it? So friends, this point. So what is just in time Purchasing means you need to remember brought. Who is buying this? Who is buying, friends?
Companies.
Company or purchase manager?
Purchase
Purchasing
manager.
manager.
The purchase manager is buying the products or raw material in which quantities?
Bulk quantity.
Ah,
Small quantities.
Small quantity and just in time.
yes.
A lot of transactions.
Yes. If you are saying bulk means you are not listening the class. Just in time
It's an
concept is what? Isn't it? Buying
the
in smaller
small
quantities,
quantity.
and
More
not only that,
transactions.
yes, more transactions is good. But the thing is, what you are doing,
Less
we
quantity.
are getting delivering just in time for, isn't it?
Use.
And why they are buying in small quantities? The reason is it is based on
Demand also.
demand. Very good. It is
Demand.
based on demand, not on production, isn't it?
Production.
So when there is a demand, then they will start buying, isn't it? And if the demand is not there, then they won't buy. So that point you need to understand. So it is an inventory management concept in which, because just in time purchase is part of the inventory. Inventory means stock. Purchasing of the stock you are purchasing. So stock should be purchased where in small quantities, and to reduce the stock inventory carrying cost and obtain the delivery just in time for use. That point you need to understand, isn't it? And friends, today I would like to close the class with this. And before we leaving, I would like to have the second poll question. Right, please read it carefully and answer. Okay, fast. Okay, I'm closing the poll. %50 of the class has given the wrong answer. Means they are not listening the class. What is right answer? Just in time
Toyota production system.
Toyota. Only few students are listening. 33% of the students are listening the class, isn't it? And what I'll do from the next time, when you write your mid examination from the next class, I'll only give the attendance those who give the right answers in 2 polls, because 50% of the class are simply log in and they are doing some other works. So from this time onwards, I am going to be very serious. And this topic just now I have discussed. Only 33% of the students has given the right answer. So what is the another name for the just-in-time manufacturing is Toyota production system. Because why we are calling the Toyota production system means initially in 1960s and 70s, the
It
Toyota
was raised in Japan.
they used this just-in-time concept in the Toyota production system. So
Yes.
due to that, we are calling it as a TPS, Toyota production system.
Production.
So from next class onwards, I'll give attendance only for the right answers, because you are only simply ticking something, so that doesn't going to work. So thank you very much for the today's class, and I have posted all the 3 units, first, second and third unit notes in your canvas. So maybe I think you have received your timetable regarding your mid examinations.
No,
sir.
sir.
Not so for
So it is going to be from 21st, I think. Exactly, the timetable is not issued. So be prepared for your examinations. So maybe from 21st, you are going to write your first mid examinations. But anyway, you will get officially the timetable is shared by the HOD in your group. But be prepared. You are expecting the question from all the 3 units, isn't it? And we started the 4th unit. This 4th unit, no need to focus more on your mid examinations. So only 3 units I'm going to give the questions, and based on the 3 units, your performance is. And this 4th unit, 5th, 6th, and you will get in the second mid examination. So thank you very much for the today's class. Again, we'll meet in the next class.